If you've been following Madeline Soto's case with me, then you'll know that Stephan Sterns was just about to be on trial for the first time in 2025. Yes, he was going to have 2 trials this year, and this was supposed to start with jury selection on July 22nd of 2025, and opening statements were anticipated for July 25th of 2025. But now, suddenly, there's a plea hearing set. Please note that this content is for adults only. Viewer discretion advised. If you haven't yet, hit the subscribe, like, and share. For July 21st of 2025. And this plea hearing is filed for both cases. So not only for the 60 counts of child essay material trial, but also for the murder trial. So I'm wondering if he's going to accept a plea deal to just finish all of this right now. Life without parole for both, and maybe both trials won't happen. The other thing that could happen is that he could plead guilty to the CSAM related charges and then still go on trial for the murder of Madeline Soto. But we'll have to see what happens on Monday and if the judge actually accepts this plea deal as well, because he has to ultimately decide. Why do you think he changed his mind? That's still my question. Because do you think it's realizing how much public humiliation he was facing? Maybe his ego was not going to survive it. Or how much more his life would be in danger if that trial, the first trial, if all that evidence was going to be shown to the jury and that the audio would be streamed as well. They wouldn't obviously show that evidence, but we were going to see witnesses testify. We were going to watch that trial together, and inmates could watch too. And if they know everything that he did, oh my goodness. Yeah, his life is already in danger just based on what he's accused of doing. And if he pleads guilty now to it, yeah, still. But even more so if he allows this to be put in everyone's face. You know what I mean? I think it'll make people even more angry. So especially where he's going to his forever home.
There are many organizations that are looking to do some very serious harm to this guy, Stephan Sterns. As this new evidence keeps coming out, more condemning, more damning, it's just looking worse and worse for the guy. Several organizations are looking to do something physical to him. I don't know exactly what the prices are, but something's going to happen to this guy. There's a lot of people with a lot of money on this guy.
Now, the thing is, I was also wondering if, for example, if you look at these live streams that we recently did, I just want to, just expand it quickly because I need to find the one. Yeah, this one. This one called We'll See His Own Collection, because that bothered me so much. We watched the pre-trial hearing together where motions were filed for Stephan Sterns to be able to use a real pen, and the judge decided he can use a felt tip pen, and he also wanted to be unrestrained, and the judge said he will be wearing a stun cuff, right? So he was worried that the stun cuff would make him itchy, and they were talking about a leg brace and all of that. What a hearing that was. But in that hearing, which is this stream over here, whoa, the judge was saying that he would have to see the evidence that they have against him. So I was really mad, and many of us watching that together, we were so mad that this guy's going to see his own collection. I can only imagine his mother seeing, for example, a title like that and realizing, wait, he's going to look at his own collection. People are going to see this. They're going to analyze his private parts and videos that he made and things that were found on his account, and that's going to be all out there. I don't know. I feel like his mother was the one to say, listen, dude, enough is enough now. Do you think so? Maybe it was his dad, based on jail calls, right? I'm going to play you a little clip from jail calls as well, because he had said previously that he would prefer to be on death row because he'll be safer there. And I think he thought more comfortable there. This video right here, Jail Calls Exposed, Stephan Sterns, May to June 2024. This is the no commentary version. I guess it's also important for me to tell you that there are commentary versions and no commentary versions, because some people go and comment on the commentary versions where I'm chipping in and say like, just play it. Why do you have to chip in? I'm like, please find the no commentary version, which is made for you so that I'm not chipping in. Now this is at the 1 hour 41 minute and 57 seconds mark on this video, which would be, I've got timestamps here for you as well, the June 7th, 2024 call with his parents. And here's what his mother said and what he said in response.
They said they can get it. So at 10 o'clock this morning, they officially filed for intent to seek death.
Well, it won't happen for a long time, according to your attorney, if at all. And from what we heard, your judge does not like the death penalty. He thinks it's too lenient, and he would rather have you in jail for the rest of your freaking life.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah,
I hate to say it, but I'd rather have you on death row because you're in more seclusion and you're not really with the bulk of the population of the people.
Well, I hate to say it, but I'd rather be on death row too because I agree with them. It's a much easier way out.
Yep.
I'd rather, you know.
And like she said, there'll be appeal after appeal after appeal, and
yeah, she said it could take up to 25 years for them to finally get around to executing me if I'm found guilty.
Yeah, and by that time you might welcome it, but we won't be here to see it.
By that time, it's about all I've got in me to serve anyway. So.
Yeah.
I'll see what the point is.
They said you were put.
Back in seclusion.
They said they put you back in seclusion.
Well, I've been in seclusion this whole time.
Well, that you're going to stay there or something. So I don't know. A lot of misinformation.
Yeah, well, I'm still in isolation, yes. I'm still in medical, although they moved me to a different cell here in medical, but this one has a bed at least, or I should say a platform.
Okay, if you want to go and listen to the rest of those jail calls, if you've never heard them before, then just find them on the playlist, which is linked in the description box for you, and you will see there's lots of no commentary videos just like that one for you, okay? So if you go here to my channel, and you go to videos, that's where the no commentary versions are. Let me just zoom in for you so that you could see it quickly. Hold on one second. So if you go like this, okay, this is the videos section. So yeah, also for those who, I'm not trying to make a snark face, but for those who say, why don't you cover cases from elsewhere? I do. Here's one from Japan, there's one from Australia, and I do. Just check the videos section, okay? So if we scroll down here, you already find lots of Stephan Sterns related content, the police video interviews without commentary, the jail calls. You'll even see this one, whoa, with Madeline Soto's choir teacher, and there's multiple videos I've made on that guy. And here you could see jail calls, the judge decides that he can't hide, what happens next, disciplinary hearing in jail. So in case you missed all of those, you could find them over there, as well as if you go to playlists, okay? And here's a trick for you. If you sort by last video added, because you can sort it as well, then you can see when was the last video, the most recent one. So this, I think this one would be bumped up to the top because of the video I'm making right now. And there is the playlist for you. And if you say view full playlist, then you could see all the videos over there. And they are sorted by date published. It's oldest to newest. Some people have asked me to do that so they could follow from the beginning. So you could see all of the stuff there, right? Okay, now I do want to show you another clip, which is, firstly, let's look at this one. This was how Stephan Sterns walked out after the pre-trial hearing. And you know, you know what my gut was telling me? The way that he walked out and the way that he just looked, I just thought, this guy, he's probably going to, on the day when it's supposed to be opening statements, say, Judge, you know what? I plead guilty. That's what I was expecting. I wasn't actually expecting that he would put everyone through this first trial because that evidence is horrific. Can you imagine the jury? They would have to analyze his, you know what, to see the freckle on it and to see what he's doing with it and all of that to a child. No. That is so disturbing. And even more so that he was going to sit there kind of next to the jury and look at the evidence as well. That was so much. But just the way that he walked out, let's look at this again. He looks really defeated. there, that all that nodding he's doing. I mean, one wouldn't ordinarily, we don't have to read too much into it, but I'm just sharing with you what I felt in my gut when I saw that. The way that he stood up, he looked really defeated, and the way that he was nodding at everyone, I'm like, yeah, right, you're gonna plead, aren't you? So let's see what he does on Monday. I also want to show you this video, which is from, hold on one second. This is from Vinnie Politan's own channel, okay? And his friend, Al, said something very interesting the other day. Let me quickly see when this was filmed. This was a live stream that happened on July 15th of 2025. Today's date is July 19th, okay? And so if we expand it like this, just look what his friend said. So there's Vinnie Politan from Court TV, right? You might know him from there. I would assume you know him, right? Is there anyone who doesn't know who Vinnie is? Okay, and then Albert is over here, Al and Jonesy on the right-hand side, and they're discussing whether Jen Soto will testify. But just listen to what Al said over here. Let me just boost the sound.
Where the evidence seems to be so overwhelming, and he's going, oh, let me take my chance.
I think there's still a chance that he just pleads guilty.
Look at Vinny's face. When I was watching that live, I was in the chat, by the way. Sometimes, I don't know, I see some of you there. Some of you say, have you ever seen this? Yeah, I'm there in the chat as well, whenever I can be. So I love Vinny's channel. And so when Vinny said that, I was, watching and nodding like, yeah, exactly. Were you also? Because I'm like, he probably will. But I just thought he's going to do it, kind of like, remember we recently followed the Megan Jackson trial? Yeah, Chris Dontel, that guy, he pleaded guilty on the day that opening statements were supposed to happen. So I kind of pictured that. But wow, okay, a plea hearing a day before jury selection. Okay, good.
Rather than face,
we discussed.
Remember how many times he's avoided being in the courtroom when this first happened? He didn't want to be in the courtroom. He didn't want. And this is a public trial. He knows that this is a public trial. He knows this is Florida. He knows what the law is in Florida. The sun is shining in Florida. The public has a right to see everything happening in a public trial, except obviously these images, but they have a right to see him and hear the evidence against him. And maybe he doesn't want that to be made public to somehow save face. I think that and those images will be relevant though.
So this is what Vinny is saying, and then we're going to hear what his friend Albert says.
At his next trial, because there'll be an aggravating factor during the penalty phase if he's convicted. If he's convicted in the Red Rum case, then this case that's why this one's first, because you want to get the conviction on this and use it as an aggravating factor when you're going for the D-pen in the next trial.
And that's why I think that there's going to be a plea workout on this. That is going to be a global settlement.
You mean encompassing both cases?
I don't think.
Jonesy says, you mean encompassing both cases? Albert says yes. And that is what is happening on Monday. Both cases have this plea hearing. I'll show you the court docket right after this, attached to it. So I think he's right.
Well, I don't know the prosecutor down there. I don't know what this prosecutor's made of. This is another case where we are talking about the worst of the worst. Someone who has groomed and abused someone over the course of years, the most vulnerable of all victims in a case. And then you talk about all the conduct. And this wasn't like a one-time thing. Like he started when they can prove, according to prosecutors, that he started when she was 8 years old, and the conduct continued for years.
Okay, so I'm glad I could show you that. If you haven't seen it, then I'm going to link this in the description box for you. Okay, and then I wanted to show you the court docket. So this is from osceolaclerk.com, and Stephan Sterns, actually I should bring this one up first. Wait, let's quickly go like this so that you can first see the initial page. Okay, I'll try to, I know the writing looks very small. Let's try to zoom in a little bit, shall we? We'll do it like, I hope that helps. So if you use the search tool and you type in Sterns, Stephan, then you can see 3 results. And so the first one says first degree murder, capital. The second one says sexual battery, victim under 12. And the third one is also SB on child under 12. So this is the first degree murder one, okay? And here you can see jury trial is set for the 22nd of September of 2025. But if you scroll down, then over here, it says add-on set for 7/21/2025 at 1:30 p.m. in 4F before Judge Karsten, Keith. And so add-on is there, and then here it says notice of hearing, which was on the 18th of July of 2025. And if you click on that, that brings up this document, and that's where the word plea is over here, and it's a notice of hearing, right? Okay, so if we go back to this page, that's where everyone's getting the news from. It's from this document that says plea. And so this is what I was monitoring at 2 in the morning to see, wait, like what is going on here? Why is there an update here? What is this hearing about? What is happening? And so Grizzly Cat and I, we monitor the site all the time to see what is going on in this case, because you just never know. You never know with Sterns, and you see, now you just never know. You might actually be accepting a plea deal. And that would take the death penalty off the table. So it's much like Brian Koberger. Death penalty off the table is very likely. I think that would be the whole point of the plea deal. What I'm going to be looking out for on that day is he pleading guilty to both cases, to all the charges in both cases, the murder charge and the CSAM related charges. That's going to be interesting. And if we look over here, this is if you go here, you can see it. This is all the SB and CSAM charges. Just look at it. Oh my goodness. Like when you see it like this, it's terrible. Each charge represents 10 or more images and or videos. So they have 1,700 apparently images and or videos of Madeline Soto from his Google account, from his Google Drive account. That is so sickening, and that's what they would have had to show the jury. Now I say have had to because I would only assume the judge would accept this. But if in the unlikely event that there's a plea hearing and the judge does not accept it, well, then we're just going to go ahead with the trial. So then everything is back on. It'll be jury selection on July 22nd and opening statements anticipated for July 25th. So here, jury trial, you see, 22nd of July 2025. But here there's an add-on. So initially, that's all that was on the website was add-on. I'm like, what is this add-on? What is that? What is an add-on? Now we know the add-on is a plea hearing. And this was decided late afternoon in Florida on Friday, just before 5 p.m. or so. So here as well, you can see notice of hearing requested, felony court minutes. So this was from the previous hearing as well. Now, if we look at this local news article, they said Stephan Sterns expected to plead guilty to sex abuse, murder in Madeline Soto case. So local news says a plea hearing for Stephan Sterns linked to child sex abuse charges and the murder of 13-year-old Madeline Soto has been scheduled for Monday. Sources close to the case tell WESH or WESH2 reporter Gail Paschal Brown that Sterns, see here they say, sources close to the case tell this reporter that Sterns is pleading guilty to both cases during the plea hearing on Monday. Is that so? If the plea goes through, there will be no trial. If not, jury selection is scheduled to begin on Tuesday. The plea hearing is scheduled for Monday at 1:30 p.m. at the Osceola County Courthouse. Victim impact statements will also be heard on Monday? What? Okay, including loved ones of Madeline Soto who will be given the opportunity to speak. That sounds very final. I mean, imagine if you just get sentenced on Monday. Whoa, if there's a plea hearing and the judge accepts it and then he's sentenced to life without parole, can you just imagine? That'll be quite a day. That'll be a great day. Just like put the handcuffs on and drag his ass out of there. Off you go, buddy. Wow, so they said Soto was reported missing last year after failing to show up for school. Well, she was never dropped off at school, even though Stephan Sterns pretended to drop off at school. Oh, my word. And so she didn't show up for school at Hunters Creek middle of the day after her 13th birthday party. She turned 13 on February 22nd of 2024, but she had her birthday party at her grandmother's house on February 25th of 2024. Her mother was not there. She was working that day. And so Stephan Sterns the ex-boyfriend at the time of Jen Soto, even though they dated for quite a long time. Jen had apparently kicked him out. She said he was really messy and they hadn't had sex in a long time. She said all of that. We've gone over so much in this case. So if you don't know about any of that, just go and check out the playlist because, it'll probably make you so mad, you know? And to think that that night after Madeline Soto had her 13th birthday party, she went home. There was Stephan Sterns. At some point then her mother also came home. And what did she do? Send them to bed. You two go upstairs. I need a good night's rest. Okay, now let's not deep dive the whole case again because once I start talking like that, I just want to go over it all again and just point out just how horrific that is. So, yeah, Stephan Sterns is accused of not only sexually abusing Madeline Soto for about 5 years, but also murdering her that night after her 13th birthday party. Strangulation is what they said happened. And the evidence is, it sounded like it was overwhelming and really sad and really scary. This really is the worst of the worst that we have heard of. We follow so many cases and there are really terrible ones involving children. This one is so bad because Madeline was only 13 years old, barely. I mean, she'd just been 13 years old for 4 days, okay? So, wow. And to think that for 5 years out of her short life, she was sexually abused based on the photos and videos they have on Stephan Sterns' Google Drive account. Can you imagine if he had other collections? He did. He had another flash drive with 38,000 images. But they didn't say that that's Madeline Soto. So it could be other kids and they haven't even charged him with that yet. So I wonder if they will. Could they pile that on, please, and get justice for those victims? That could have been ones that he collected from the internet or traded or whatever he did. But still, to have possession of 38,000 images on a flash drive that his dad said belonged to him, that was found in his dad's storeroom, is really, really crazy. That's a lot of images and videos. Okay, so that is what we have for today. I just want to make sure that I've gone over everything. So I think I went over everything that I wanted to with you. I'm actually amazed that this video is over 30 minutes long. So yeah, there was quite a bit to discuss there because we need to be in the know. As much as I try to break the news at any time of day for me, we need to be in the know. We need to revisit some things like we did today. Let's have a look at that jail call again, shall we? Isn't this weird that he said he'd rather be on death row? Worried for his safety, huh? So now what convinced him otherwise? Well, I think the answer is his defense team being like, dude, you are so screwed. Like, really, you're facing the death penalty, dude. Just if the state offers you a plea deal, take it. And clearly, it seems like that's what's been happening now behind the scenes, that the state has offered Stephan Sterns a plea deal, and it seems like he's accepting it. But we'll have to wait and see, because lots could go on Monday. But the fact that they say victim impact statements are going to be happening on Monday as well, oh my goodness. So yeah, we'll be watching that together. Make sure that you are subscribed because oftentimes when YouTube does updates, which is very regular, so make sure that you also update your app and update whatever device you're using so that you have the latest version of YouTube so you don't have any audio glitches or any funny things happening. But yeah, when those updates happen, sometimes you'll be automatically unsubscribed. I mean, sometimes people are unsubscribed that have been here from day one and are, for example, moderators. They can get unsubscribed too and they're like, what the hell's going on here? You're a moderator of this channel and you're getting unsubscribed? Yeah, it happens. So make sure that you are subscribed, notifications on, because you do not want to miss those updates and any other breaking news. Who knows what could happen before Monday? And remember, next week, if you're watching this today on July 19th of 2025, is also Brian Koberger's sentencing. And who knows what could happen before then. And even on that day, of course, we'll be watching that together as well. So let's see what happens here. Let me know in the comments below. Do you think the judge will accept this plea deal? Firstly, do you think Stephan Sterns will? It seems likely because there's a hearing for it and they talk about victim impact statements. Do you think the judge will accept it? I personally do think so. And also, if not, do you think we're going to be watching the trial next week? I think it's unlikely. But let me know what you think and how you feel about this, because I know this will make some people really mad that he's getting a plea deal. And for others, I've seen your comments on the shorts and on my community post, you feel at least Madeline Soto can maintain some dignity, because sharing those photos of her, oh my word, that is just so heartbreaking. And those videos, and I would just feel so sorry for the jury, because you can't unsee that. So I'm looking forward to reading your comments below. I will keep you posted, and thank you so much for your support. I usually also post on Patreon. I did not do that at 2 in the morning because yesterday we already had 2 live streams and I'd already posted twice over there, so I didn't want to like spam people. But if you do want notifications for upcoming live streams and news and things, Patreon is also a place to check out. All right, everyone, I will see you again very soon. In the meantime, stay safe.